All right, we got two things to cover today. Let's talk some Seattle Seahawks football. One on the offensive line and one on the defensive line. One is about a player coming back, and the other one is about a player coming in for a visit that could help bolster a unit that I think a lot of people are worried about. So we're going to talk about those two things. Before we get into that, if you are new to this channel, my name's Craig. Me and my buddy Chris started this channel. After our first one, Sports Talk Detroit, we are Lions fans. And we understand that, but we love football. And we love teams that the national media doesn't seemingly pay enough attention to. And we feel like the Seahawks are absolutely one of those teams. And we like talking about the stories that the national media doesn't pay attention to. And we just want to give you a non-biased opinion about what your team is doing. So, offense or defensive side, where do you want to start? You want to start with the trade news, or free agent signing? Or do you want to start with the player coming back? We're going to keep it in-house just for a second. There's a lot of excitement about a one specific player that is getting healthy. And you can see based on this article off The Athletic, could a healthy Uchenna Nwosu put the Seahawks defense over the top? And what I love about this is that the Seahawks received positive news that Mr. Nwosu passed his physical, bringing the outside linebacker one step closer to returning to the field. We know he had off-season knee surgery. We know about that. He was placed on the PUP list in July, but he has passed his physical. And what I like even more about this is the comments that your head coach had to say. Mike McDonald said it's exciting to get Nwosu back. Said he's ahead of schedule. All right, and which makes sense for how hard he's worked behind the scenes. But this is what I love, and then we'll talk about what the timetable for return looks like. He said, Uchenna is a leader for us on defense. He is a great edge player on early downs. He's got physicality. He's incredibly smart. He's got a great feel for the game. This is just compliment. So activating on those pass rush opportunities in the play action game, he's really good at. Then on third down, he can run inside and outside. He's a great game runner. He's got great chemistry with guys like Leo Williams, and obviously he plays hard. So a lot of boxes right there. He is a heck of a player. All right, so let's talk about a couple of things that Nwosu absolutely brings to this defense. He is solid, but I need to talk about this edge room real quick. This is your edge room. I'll try and zoom in a little bit so you can see even more possibly. All right. Now, what you're looking at and what every team wants is 3 solid edges, but most teams want 4. If Uchenna Nwosu is able to come back, you have 4. You had Derek Hall kind of getting a little breakout action last year, playing well for you. He can be your 4th guy or even 3rd. You have DeMarcus Lawrence, older, can still be effective at the position, can still get to the quarterback when healthy, but needs to play in a more limited role, needs to play in a rotation. Boye Mafe, we don't need to talk about it. He's a baller, right? He's a good player. And then if you get Uchenna Nwosu back, what this team has the ability to do, and what I think most people forget, is that Mike McDonald is a system that is very edge-friendly. When he ran it at Michigan, he had edges that were immediately getting drafted into the NFL and playing years that were far beyond anything you could imagine, right? It is an edge-friendly system, but what he wants to be able to do with those edges is he wants to be able to keep them fresh. That's what he did at Michigan, just rotating through, over and over and over again, because you need to be able to have fresh legs, fresh bodies that are coming off the edge without abandon. To be able to get a fresh guy in there on a 3rd and 8 when the offensive tackles are getting tired after blocking multiple plays, but DeMarcus Lawrence can come in for his first pass rush of the series, or Boye Mafe, or Uchenna Nwosu, or whoever it might be, is a tremendous advantage. Just running out there at 100% when your opponent is running at 80. It's a tremendous advantage. So something that can't go unseen, having him back, and McDonald said, we have a preliminary timetable for him to return early season. It's too early to say if he'll be back for week 1, but it's looking like he's not going to go on IR, and he will likely be back in that first 2, 3, 4 weeks of the season. That's what you need. That's what you want to hear. Now, let's go to a report that we're hearing that the Seattle Seahawks on the offensive side are bringing in Dalton Risner, who is a guard, most recently with the Minnesota Vikings, for a visit. Let's talk for a second about this man, Dalton Risner. You can see him right here, all right? Not the most athletic-looking human in the world, all right? Who worked out for the Bengals today. Will also visit the Seahawks per source, visiting the Steelers, also a consideration, wants to take multiple visits before making a decision. Why would he go to Seattle? When you look at their interior offensive linemen, all right, Oluwatimi, good. Gray Zabel will be just fine. All right. I remember I told you about Oluwatimi last year. I'm like, you found your starting center. You're fine. Don't worry about it. You don't have to look any further. But after that, right? Where do you go? Where do you go with that on the interior? It would not be a bad idea to bring in a guard that is absolutely a good, especially pass blocker. And when you look at Dalton Risner, what you see through his career over here, all right, that he has been a mediocre guard. Fringe starter, not fringe NFL caliber, which is what a couple of the players with the Seahawks are, but a fringe starter through his entire career, but a good pass blocker. And that's what we know about Sam Dalton, is that he needs time. And when there's an inordinate amount of pressure, he tends to get a little spooked. All right, it gets a little spooky for him in there. We started to see it a little bit toward the end of last year. I don't think it was as bad as everybody made it to be. But when you're looking at Sam Darnold, you're looking at a guy who needs to have time in that pocket. So how do you create time? Good run game. Good offensive line. Utilize the play action, right? Make your offense more multiple so the defense can't pin their ears back. Those are the different things. And I would say if there's one area that this offense could learn to, or could stand to improve from in the immediate, like at wide receiver, as long as they stay healthy, ton of talent, they're good to go. Right? At tight end, a lot of young talent that they're very excited about, but how they want to use it, it's good. And the running back room. Oh my goodness, this team's running 4 deep. Like, there is absolutely no problem with the running backs. There is so much depth at running back, it's almost comical. The question is interior offensive line right now. What is that going to look like? What is the offensive line going to look like? This could be someone you could bring in at 30 years old that could just kind of come in and kind of calm everything down, right? And just like, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to figure this out. You're not going to have to worry about my position because I'm going to be able to do it. I think there's also, it should be known that I believe he was with Clint Kubiak at one time. They were with the Broncos, when Risner played for Denver. So Risner, of course, also last year with the Minnesota Vikings, blocked for Sam Darnold, so there's probably a level of comfortability there. All right, couple of good things. Good news happening. Maybe a double dose of good news for the Seattle Seahawks. We'll see. We'll talk about it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.